What's happening, folks? How's it going tonight? Glad to have you here for the last workshop of the year. That might be a little loud, isn't it? We'll try to turn that down a little. Glad you guys could decide to come and spend a few minutes with us, and I'll do my very best to give you some value while you're here. You may have noticed, I am not Manuel. So we had a last-minute change, some unfortunate things that Manuel couldn't get out of. I had to pull him away from tonight's event. So we pulled together a new presentation that I think you guys are going to really enjoy. If you're not familiar with me yet, not a problem. My name is Revezzo. I've been with Manuel and AGM just over 3 years now, which is not bad considering the company is just now starting its 7th year of business. So I've been here basically half the time the company's been around. And if he's kept me here this long, I must be doing something right. So my job here is to write the majority of the copy and send outbound emails, everything under Manuel's name. I'm sort of the voice of Manuel through all the email communications and text messages. And that's exactly what I want to talk to you guys tonight about, is copywriting, and how copywriting is actually the heart of your marketing campaigns and really all your marketing together. At least that's the way I think of it from when I started learning about things. And by doing that, we will create messages, like it says here on the slides, that will help to build interest, anticipation, and clarity for your businesses and your brands. So why do I even say that copy is the heart of your marketing? Well, it's because to create a well-established or a well-executed marketing plan, marketing strategy of any sort, there's a lot of pieces you need to think about ahead of time. Some of those things are, what can you help people with? Who can you help? How can you help them? You can also consider, things like, why is it important to those people to even get the results that you can help them with? How soon can people expect the results? And what do those results even mean to them? So knowing these pieces together helps us to create that interest in what we do, helps us to build anticipation for the results that we can help people achieve, and it helps us speak with clarity so that our people can quickly and easily understand what we're doing and how we can serve them. And when you take all that together, it then gives you all the pieces of the puzzle that you're going to need to then apply to the tools of the marketing, whether that's direct mail or Facebook ads or YouTube ads or organic content. And having all that stuff in place helps us avoid what a lot of marketers do, which is this: simply burn through money. So, let's take a look at this picture real quick. Can anybody tell me what this picture is? Excalibur is one answer. I like that. And what is Excalibur? A sword. And what type of sword is it? Magical. It's magical. What's that? A king's sword. That's good too. A lot of good answers. There's one piece I'm looking for. How many blades is on that particular sword? Dose. That's right. That's a double-edged sword, which is exactly what some of social media marketing is. See, the good news about social media marketing, right, is it's super easy to get out there and spread your message. And you may already know what's coming next. Is the bad news about social media marketing is that it's super easy just to put your material out there and spread it. The problem is, if people don't like the material you're putting out there, you're going back to the wizard burning money, or it may just get suppressed through the social media platforms because there's not engagement and people are not enjoying it. So a reality that we have to face when we're marketing on social media is the social media platform's first job is to keep people on their platforms as much as possible. And if they think that your material, whether it's organic or paid advertisements, is driving people away, then they're not going to show your stuff to people. And here's the other thing. It's easy to have the tools, right? So you could put me in this high-tech garage full of all the latest gadgets and gear and best tools to fix cars, but I don't have the skill to do it. So even if I have the tools, I can't fix your fuel injection. I don't know how to fix your timing chains, and I certainly can't replace your flux capacitor. And really, in my opinion, and what I have found, is the marketing is the exact same thing. If you don't have the copy and the pieces, the research, or the pieces that go into your ability to create copy, then you're missing a lot of pieces out of the jigsaw puzzle that is your marketing, or your marketing campaigns. So, where do we start? By defining yourself. Some of the questions that you can ask yourself are, well, what is the primary problem that my business solves? Or what is the desire that my business fulfills for people? You can also ask yourself, well, who do I solve these problems or fulfill these desires for? You can ask yourself, how did I get here? This is not my beautiful house. Oh, wait, sorry, it's the wrong song. How do you actually solve the problems or fulfill the desires? This is a great piece that I like, where you get to actually apply a creative name to. So a lot of people can run, in our instance, let's say Facebook ads or Google ads, right? A lot of people can run Facebook and Google ads. But can they get the type of results that we can get? Maybe, maybe not. But I do know that if you don't have the Manuel Suarez ninja method to run your ads, then you are not going to get the same kind of results, even though you're both running Facebook ads. So this is an interesting piece. Some may call it a unique mechanism. So you take and you package all the skills that you have to get people results, and you give it a creative name that then makes you uncopyable to other people. Because even if there are some elements that are the same, they're not doing the same thing. They don't have your formula for success. We also want to consider, what results can your ideal person expect to experience after working with you or buying your products or services? And when you're defining all these, I like to say, feel free to add what I call the so-that bridge. And this means that once you lay out, let's say, we help, I think I have some examples here coming up, but the so-that bridge lets you establish what you do, who you do it for, how you do it, and then you can tell them, so that, insert the great desired benefit that they want. And the so-that bridge, as I call it, helps people to actually envision themselves or imagine themselves after the success with what you have. And it smooths the ramp for the sale. Yes, so here are some examples of what we're talking about. I help people who are tired of being alone find their forever love with my perfect partner attraction matrix so that they can live long and prosper. Right? So who are we serving? People who are tired of being alone. What do we do for them? Help them find their forever love. How do we do it? With our unique mechanism, the perfect partner attraction matrix, so that they can live long, prosper, and have a happily ever after. Does that make sense so far? Yep. Cool. There's another one. What do? I help executives who want to flaunt their status and make heads turn as they drive down the street with my Make 'em Jealous Lamborghini leasing, so that they'll finally get the respect they deserve from Bob in accounting. Because Bob just doesn't like to respect anybody. But damn it, I'm going to do everything I can to get it. Which is a whole other part of the conversation, which is, we'll touch on here in a little bit, which is, why do people do what they do? So now that we've defined ourselves, now what? What do we do next? Now we have to really start to consider the ideal person and where they are in their journey and how we can plug into where they're at and meet them where they are and then continue to help them get the results they're after. So this is what we like to call the prospect awareness scale. And it's really, it's been around probably close to 100 years at this point. So in this one, the stages of awareness are the most aware, the product-aware person, the solution-aware person, the problem-aware, and the completely unaware person. And in each stage of this, you have to speak to them in a different way. Even though you might be talking about the exact same thing, the way you say it, whether it hits on their current awareness, is going to be the determining factor of whether or not they connect with you. So the most aware people, this is mostly your bottom of the funnel. That's your hottest audience. They know, they like you, they trust you. They may have even bought from you already, which makes it real easy to sell them more stuff in general. Product-aware people, okay, now we're talking more of a warm audience, middle to bottom of funnel, if you guys are familiar with those terms, and if you're not, please let me know, and I'll redefine them for. Actually, let me just define them in case you're not. So the top of funnel is what we talk about, like people who, with your first touch point with them out into the world. And then as it goes down the middle of the funnel, now they've learned a little bit more about you, whether it's from podcast or social media, or interacting with you in person, like workshops like that we have here, or talking to yourselves at home, like we do here. See, I'm watching you. Watching you. So the product-aware people, like I said, they're in the middle of the funnel. They know who you are. They know what you're selling, but they still might need some convincing that your thing is the right thing for them. Brings us further down to the solution-aware. The solution-aware people, they know that there's a problem that they want fixed in their life, but they're not sure which solution out there is the right one for them. So this is a nice part. This is the biggest, what some people call the consideration phase. They already know there's a problem. They know there's a bunch of solutions. Now they're just trying to pare it down and figure out which one is going to be the best for them. The problem-aware people, they know something's wrong, and that's about it. They don't really know what they can do about it. They don't know yet where to go and find help for it. And the unaware people, it's like they're walking through life with the blinders on that you may see on horses sometimes, or like pulling a carriage down the street, you got the blinders. They don't know anything's a problem. They're glued to their screens, whether it's on their phone or the television, or they're just obsessed with something else, and they don't know anything that's going on around them. Does not mean that they're unreachable, but it does take different creativity and different language to attract them or to break through to them. And often there's a mechanism in copywriting that's called a story lead, which is often the way to connect with people who are completely unaware. So you catch them with the beginning of some sort of intriguing story that will, they just happen to be passing through. They go, oh, what is this? And they start reading it, and before you know it, you've identified the problem, they've identified it, and you've let them know there's solutions and how you can help. So I got a couple of examples that I put together real quick. In this particular instance, new puppy owners. So the headline at the bottom of the ad here, we can see it says, have the perfect puppy in 6 hours or less. Well, it should say or, but it says of. And it's the 6hourperfectpuppy.com. So already just from those two pieces, you can start to see, it's going to identify, or people will start to self-identify with what's going on here. And so we just introduce a potential problem at the top. Hey, it's true that new puppies chew on stuff, but when it's your favorite shoes, it's time to stop the chewing ASAP. Because the last thing that you want to do is give back your brand new fur baby, but buying a closet full of new shoes isn't an option either. That's where training comes in. But not all training is created equal. Most pet stores offer training classes designed for groups, meaning that your special fuzzy friend is just another one tossed through the mill. The classes can take weeks and they're cheap, but you're smart enough to know that you get what you pay for. Your puppy deserves more, and so do you. So here's the good news. In as little as 6 hours, you can have a perfect puppy bringing your slippers and not chewing on them. Learn more at theperfectpuppy.com. So top of the funnel, introduce a potential problem to somebody, lay out a couple of pain points that they may have already been experiencing, and let them know that there is a solution and that they can learn more simply. So we didn't really, you see the name of the website, but we didn't really necessarily give it a brand name. We didn't talk about any particular personality yet, if there is one. So if we move down a little bit more into the middle of the funnel, So enjoy the perfect puppy in as little as 6 hours. Again, it's still the same idea, same concept, which is something that we call the big idea that runs throughout the whole marketing campaign. And here we're saying to the middle of the funnel, having a perfect puppy that listens, obeys, and brings your shoes instead of eating them is just a few hours away. So we're reiterating the pain points and the solution, or actually the desired result. In fact, the 6-hour perfect puppy was developed by an award-winning dog trainer, Rolf Wolfenstein, after working with 5,000 different breeds over the last 20 years. So now we have introduced the personality that created the product or the service. We've created a little bit of the social proof saying that he's already worked with 5,000 different breeds and put a time frame on it of 20 years. So now it's starting to help build that reputation of who this person could be and solidify the fact that, wow, if I have this problem, this might be the person to help me. Right now, Rolf's 6-hour perfect puppy solution has space for 5 new puppy parents, couples this month. But the spaces go fast, so go sign up. So, right? Introduce the personality, create some social proof, create some credibility in who and what they've been doing. Let people know there's actually still some scarcity, but there's still some availability so they can get in. And towards the bottom of the funnel, we've got here only 4 more spots left for the 6-hour perfect bunny. So now we've written it as if the creator of the program is writing directly to them. Hey, Rolf Wolfenstein here. I'm accepting 4 more puppy parent couples this month for my 6-hour perfect puppy solution program. Alliteration is a whole other key in copywriting if you guys didn't pick up on that yet. If you want the perfect puppy in 6 hours or less, then my 6-hour perfect puppy solution is for you. But don't take my word for it. Look at what my graduates have to say. And then this is a point in the ad where you could, on the website also, you can start to insert any testimonials you have from past success stories. And then let them know. Apply today at the website, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Not bad. But is there more that we need to know about our prospects and customers? You bet there is. His beard's okay, but I like mine better. So we spoke a little while ago, I said, we're going to touch on some of the aspects, what makes people do things. So what is it? What does make people actually move into action? And it's emotion. And not just any emotion, although I guess you could say it's any emotion because they fall into a few categories. Emotions that fall under validation, that fall under excitement or greed, that fall under security and safety, or that fall under purpose. And sometimes they might overlap. That's where something like this comes in. Let's see if I can get out of the way if you can see right. So the classic Maslow's hierarchy of needs. This is also another way that within those top, middle, and bottom, and the awareness stages, you can look to something like this to find out how and where you should be talking to somebody. Because if you want to talk about purpose, that usually comes up here in the top in the self-actualization and the esteem aspects. But if all your content, all your ads are all about purpose, but the person that you're actually presenting the stuff to is down here in safety and needs, then it's going to fall on flat ears. Or I guess deaf ears is a better way to say it, right? That's the real saying. Look, I just write for a living. I don't propose to know everything. So it's something to keep in mind as we move forward with how you construct your messages. And this falls together with one of the classic pieces that we have known as the 10 reasons that people buy. This particular list comes out of one of the books that we enjoy here, and that's the Copywriting Secrets by a guy named Jim Edwards. The first one, these first 5 are the most common. Save money, which falls under, again, the security and safety. Make money, excitement or greed. 3, save time, which is a security and safety factor. And I'll give you guys, or I'll email you guys links to all these slides as well if you want them later on. Number 4 is escape mental or physical pain. Again, safety and security. I feel like I need to duck so you can take your picture, man. Number 5 is avoid effort. I've classified that one again as safety and security. And if you guys think it falls under a different one, I'm open to hearing it. I love to have discussions about these. Number 6 is to get more comfort. Again, safety and security. The safety and security, I find as I go through these 10 lists, seems to be, in my opinion, pretty much the greatest emotions that people act on. Number 7 is to achieve greater cleanliness or hygiene. Okay, so this one's a little odd. Right? Yeah. So depending on the why, right, the deeper why of why somebody is doing this thing, I believe it could fall under any of these 3. The validation, the excitement, the greed, the safety and security. Because then you have to go into, well, these are the emotions that make people move, or these are the reasons people buy, but the deeper emotion as to what somebody might do this for could be a number of things. Maybe they need my perfect partner attraction matrix system to find their forever love. So they figure if they increase their cleanliness and their hygiene, then that might increase their likelihood of finding a forever love, right? Now on the security or the excitement/greed side, maybe it's very similar, but maybe they're a hookup artist and they don't care about a long-term relationship, but they still want to make a relationship even if it's just brief, right? So those are different ways that I was looking at it as to why I said it could overlap with multiple ones. To attain better health, similar, depending on the deeper why, I believe it could fall under these validation, excitement, greed, or safety, security. And really, as I started to look at it, you may even throw purpose in there. Because if you've reached those higher levels of the hierarchy of needs and you feel that now you're in a position where your purpose is to have greater impact upon the world, you're not going to be able to do it if your health is poor. Now, that could be physical health, it could be mental health, it could be a variety of different things. But that is one that I thought again about and figured I should probably add purpose to that. Sounds like you guys seem to agree in the office here. Number 9 is to gain praise, validation. And the 10th reason is to feel more love or increase the social status and validation. So, and I was joking about the executive who wanted to flaunt their status and get the respect from Bob in accounting. This is the one that I was thinking about, the validation here and that increase in social status. Now, why he cares about what the guy in accounting thinks about him, I can't tell you that. But if you do trigger into what that is, then that means your copy and your messaging can be even that much more on point and really connect with a person who thinks that way. Whew. That was a lot. You guys still with me? Great. So, is it cool if I share some writing recipes and tools that I use with you guys? Awesome. No? How dare you? One of the first ones I want to show you guys is a framework called the Pastor Framework by a copywriter named Ray Edwards. It's got 6 simple steps to it. So, number 1 is pain or problem. 2 is amplify. 3 is the story or solution. 4 is a testimony. 5 is your offer. And 6 is a response. And let's talk real quick about how he kind of works those. So, yes. Now, to be fair, you can rearrange them slightly. The question was, is that in sequence for the Pastor formula? In general, yes, but you can rearrange them a little bit. And what's great about this particular formula is you can use it for social media posts, you can use it for emails, you can use it for sales pages, you can use it on your website, you can use it in video scripts, so it can really be used pretty universally across the board. So a pain, a problem, a person, you can start to consider and ask the questions, well, what is hurting people right now? This is also where you can call out the ideal person that you want to reach. So a couple of examples I've got down here at the bottom. Homeschooling moms who want to improve their children's test scores. Very clear about who it's for and what the purpose could be. Back to the puppies. New puppy owners who want their puppies to stop chewing on the furniture. I don't know why I keep going to puppies, but it seems like an easy get. I like the last one. 47-year-old divorced balding accountants who are looking for their soulmate. That's pretty specific. And if that's you, you're clicking on that ad. I almost guarantee it. The A talks about amplification or aspirations. Okay, so here we can talk about the negative side effects of not solving the issue. All right, so if the problem, let's say for the new mom, the homeschooling mom who wants to improve the test scores, well, why? Why do we need to improve the test scores? What's the negative result of not improving the test scores? It's actually a great question too if you guys are on a sales call, and maybe you already know this. But if you can ask people, like in your sales call, like, okay, well, you know, what got you here today? Why are we talking today? And they give you a question, or maybe you ask them something like, one that I like is they say, well, if we have a service that'll help you make more money, well, how much are you making now? And they're like, well, I make this much. And you go, well, that's great. Why not just stay there? What's wrong with staying there? Why do you want to move forward? Now you make them kind of sell you on the concept of allowing you to sell them. And if I didn't mention this before, and I didn't, copywriting way back in the day was one of the first, nicknames it had was salesmanship in print. And the purpose of that is because it came out of all the face-to-face, door-to-door sales that people would do, I would say early in the 19th century, or 20th century, but really probably even before that. And then what they did is they said, well, you know, I can only talk to so many people a day in person. And so they figured, like, if I can figure out a way to take my sales pitch and apply it to the written word and then mail that out to people or put it in newspapers or magazines or on the radio, now I can reach hundreds or thousands of people versus maybe tens or hundreds per day. And really since then, everything has stayed the same, just become amplified, as it says here, through everything else that we have nowadays. And after talking about the negative, what happens if we don't get the resolve? We talked about that, and where do people want to go? That's the aspirational part of it. Where are you trying to go? How can I help you get there? The S stands for a story or solution. Use a great position in the copies for you to either talk about a success story of yourself or someone else overcoming the same problem, and then introduce the solution for that either you found or that somebody else created that you're selling. So this can work for both the person who created something or the person who is selling on the behalf of somebody who created something. Testimony, pretty self-explanatory, success stories of others who overcame the same problems with this particular solution or one very similar. Then you put the offer out, you reveal to them what the solution is, what the benefits are, the prices of them. And then the response is you tell the people how you can get the thing, right? Describe the choices that they have as something you may have seen before, but it can be as simple in your writing as saying, here's what you do now. Go to this website, fill out this thing, hit submit, right? And sometimes the more clear that you can be, because we talked about clarity as being one of the things at the beginning, the more clear that you can be with people in describing the step-by-step process, the easier it is for them to follow. One of our goals in doing all of this, the copy, the research, the marketing strategies, is to reduce the amount of friction that people would feel when dealing with us. Another part that I like here is you've got three choices. You can keep doing things the way you're doing them, keep getting the same results you've been getting. You can completely ignore this and just hope things change for you, or you can take us up on our solution and get the results that we've guaranteed for you. And guarantees are a whole different product, or a whole different idea, not product really. But ideally, you want them. And I have a little piece coming up here that talks about guarantees, but here's a simple trick. Your guarantee is there to make you feel uncomfortable and make the prospect feel comfortable. So that just means that your guarantee has to sound so crazy to you that you don't ever want to have to fulfill it. But it makes them go, well, hell, if they're that crazy to offer me that, I can't lose. So this is all cool, but now what? So when you first start using this framework, you don't have to get carried away. There's 6 steps to it. You can get started as easily as just writing 1 sentence per piece. If you want to write 2 sentences and then go back and cut it out, that's up to you. But start with just 1 sentence a piece, and then you can, if you wanted to make it longer, you can add to each one as you go through. This bottom line, I like it. It says, write as much as you want, but only as much as you need. And this is a whole other piece of your copy is, it's totally okay to write something ridiculously long to begin with. Then, in your editing process, you should go through it and try to then eliminate as much of it as possible, as long as it still makes sense and has a punchy impact to it. So, how about some headline ideas? The how-to headline is a classic. So the recipe or the formula for this one could be how to get result without pain or struggle in as little as time frame, even if limiting belief or lack of skill. So I went through a side project that I have and pulled some headline examples that I wrote up for some. So how to transform yourself into a self-defense expert in as little as 6 weeks. How to quickly defend against a street punch with 3 simple entries. How to have even more respect and love from your family and friends. So that bottom one, right, so that's going to speak to somebody who is looking for that validation or that increase in, what did we say earlier, the gaining the love and affection of other people, right? So the validation and the status. So the who else wants subject line or headline. So the cool thing that the cool thing I like about this, and as I was putting it together earlier, I really noticed, the only technical difference here is like the first 4 words from the last one, right? So both of them end with get results without pain or struggle in as little as insert a time frame, even if you have limiting beliefs or lack of skill. You just got to say who else wants to. And generally, the who else wants to is good, especially if you've already got a lot of testimonials and success stories, because then you can layer in to the sales message all the successes that have already had it. In fact, if you wanted to, you could even use, let's say you use a how-to at the beginning of your sales message or your copywriting, whether, again, email, sales letter, whatever platform you're using it on. And then further down the way, you can add in the who else wants to get the same results again. And we'll see that concept of reusing stuff come back here in a few minutes as well. So in this one, who else wants to transform themselves into a self-defense expert in as little as 6 weeks? Who else wants to quickly defend against street punches in 3 simple entries? And who else wants to have even more respect and love from their friends and family? Or family and friends, whatever. I kind of like this one, the not telling you. Okay, so whoever the authority figure or respected individual isn't telling you about a specific topic. This was big, in the 90s, when the what they don't want you to know books or whatever came out. But it's great. It still works for everything. So in this example, so what your karate instructor isn't telling you about real-world self-defense, or what your typical self-defense instructor isn't telling you about real-world self-defense. What the government isn't telling you about your right to defend yourself and your family. See, I hear the hums and the ahs and the giggles, and that means it resonates, right? And they know that you know there's some kind of truth to it, or at least you believe that there's a truth to that you resonate with. And that's part of that emotional pull that you guys are trying to create with everything you're doing. And I want you to remember this. When you're writing your headlines, do your best to include elements such as a promise of a solution or desired result. A call out to who it's for, could be directly or indirectly. A pain that can be avoided. And that was it, ain't a pain to be avoided. All right, bullet points. Got some recipes and formulas for this too, as if you guys like. Now, the headlines are super important because research has shown over the years that headlines can be responsible for upwards of 80%, sometimes more, of the actual persuasion. that goes on for people to actually make a choice. Bullet points are great to increase the anticipation and the interest if they've gotten further than your headline and need more supporting evidence. So we first want to kind of define the difference between the features and the benefits, because these are what we're generally going to construct our bullet points from. And it's really, honestly, it's not all that different than headlines. So, for example, here, a feature is something that the product or service has. An example in this case is an 8-inch diamond blade, or something that has 21 lessons in it, or it has 1,000 thread count. And now the benefit is what that feature does for you. So, cuts metal quickly, takes you from beginner to expert in 3 weeks. Sheets that give you a smooth, sensual sleep. And then you can tell people what it means for them, right? Again, we want to reduce friction. So if we can just tell the person, if we can build the picture in their mind for them, again, it helps to smooth the process of their decision making. And so the benefits of the 8-inch diamond blade that cuts metal quickly means that now you can finish the project in time for dinner with the family. The 21 lessons that, man, anybody remember what the 21 lessons did? Take you from beginner to expert in 3 weeks. Sorry if anybody was going to say it, because I just finally remembered. So the 21 lessons that take you from beginner to expert in 3 weeks so that you can secure new clients, make more sales, take your family on an unforgettable vacation. And the 1,000 thread count sheets that give you a sensual sleep experience so that you can wake up refreshed and ready to conquer the world. So depending on the structure of where you're putting these things, those might seem long, but not necessarily. And I've used these type of recipes when helping out writing bullet copy for Amazon listings on a few clients in the past. So, shh. Here's a quick secret tip about the headlines and the bullets and the things. Number one, the more of them that you write, the more opportunity you have to choose a winner and to test. But then the ones that you don't use for your initial headline, you can swap out and create bullet points out of them. Or you can swap out bullet points and test it against a headline to see which one pulls a better result. So write more than you think you need so that you have plenty of ammunition for the marketing game. So if it's cool, I'm going to share a couple of tools that I use as well. Cool? Actually, I don't even know what time. We're cool on that time? Sweet. Okay, I thought maybe I was going to have to quit and just leave you guys hanging, but. So the 𝗟𝗢𝗥𝗡.com. This is basically what it looks like. This is a free, all these are free apps or objects that you can use online, right? And I use them here every day. I use them when I work from home, and I try to get as many people in the office to use these tools as well, especially since we have a process where like somebody will create something and then they send it through a qualifying, second set of eyes. And I always tell them, listen, let's start here, and then it makes the qual person's job that much easier, and we can speed up the process of everything. So the Hemingway app is cool. I'll point some stuff out here on the screen. You can actually you can write your copy right here in the Hemingway app itself, or you can write it anywhere else and then copy and paste it over here. And what I really like about it is this right-hand column. It tells you a readability score. And this one comes in at a grade 3, says it's good, and we'll talk about that in a second. It'll give you an estimation of the read time that it takes to go through whatever piece of copy you put here, how many letters, characters, words, sentences, paragraphs. And then you have these colorful little rectangles here. It talks about adverbs, uses of passive voice, phrases that have a simpler alternative. This one down here is the number of sentences that are hard to read, or the number of sentences that are very hard to read. So we can see here it says we had 24 sentences in this piece of copy. So out of the 24 sentences, right, so I got everything on 0 in this one, which, whoo, it's usually what I'm looking for. My goal is to not have a rainbow of things here in this copy. And I want things on a lower grade level for the readability. Because grade level readability does not necessarily equate to sophistication of the message. It just relates to how easy is this piece of copy for people to read and digest. So we compare it to this one, and this is something I just randomly pulled up off the internet and copied and just threw it right in there. It's about keto basics. Readability is at a grade level 10, which is, it says it's okay, but you should aim for at least a 9. Again, all this is the same, and now we can see some of the color pop up here in the copy itself. And it's telling us in this light blue, it's telling us that we've got 2 adverbs, one here, incredibly and drastically. It's not that you can't use words that end in ly, it's totally fine, but depending on what you're putting together, you might want to limit the amount of them. When down here we've got 1 yellow sentence, which is hard to read, and 1 red that's very hard to read. So my goal when I use it for myself, for everything that we do here, and for me teaching the staff, is I try to get us to hit at least a grade 5 or below and have no color highlights. That's what we're shooting for. And that just means it's easy to read. But I should probably ask you guys, because you guys read the emails, and if you can let me know at some point, do you find them easy to read and understand and digest, or is there something complicated that I need to make, smooth out so you can go through it, scan through it, and get the value out of it? Anyway, next, naturalreaders.com/online. Again, free tool, super cool. Because what you do here is now you can copy and paste your message right into this, and then you come up here and you hit this really cool little blue button that says play, and it reads it back to you in a human-like AI voice. But here's what's so cool about it. You put your copy in, you hit play, and you can sit back and close your eyes and just listen to it. And then you can decide, does this make sense when I hear it? Does this sound like something a real person would say in a conversation? Did it stumble? Do I need to go back and change the punctuation on it? Or did I have an extra word or not enough words or a misspelling that I didn't catch originally? When you listen to it being read, those things just jump right out at you and you can go make your corrections. So it helps you to eliminate errors before you send your messages out. Got a question in the back?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
On those apps you're talking about, do they also wind up being grammar checkers and spell checkers and, correct word usage and stuff like that?
These two are not. So the question was, do these apps that we just talked about, do they check grammar and spelling and things like that?
Like, do they do it like a proofreader kind of thing?
Do they do it like a proofreader? These two apps don't, but what I use for that is Grammarly. And I believe there are some other apps that do it as well, but I do, in fact, that's one of the ones coming up.
Okay.
So I do use an app that will alert me to the best of its ability, whether there's misspellings or grammatical errors and things like that, so I can catch it.
Pretty good.
Yeah. And I know there's a free version. I just use the free version of Grammarly, and I know there's a paid version. Honestly, I don't know what's in the paid version because I've never used it. So, yeah. Right? Here's another one that I find really interesting. It's aminstitute.com, and it's Advanced Marketing Institute. And it allows you to test headlines for what they refer to as emotional marketing value words. Right? It's a big mouthful. And to be honest with you, I can't yet find a good list of what they consider emotional marketing value words. But what this can help you play with is you can copy and paste your headline into the box. So this one is the number one thing you need to overcome for success on social media. And when you hit submit, it'll give you a rating. So on this particular one, that headline got a 41.67%, and that is their algorithm telling you that that sentence has 41.67% of its words they consider to be emotional marketing value words. So in the little text down here, like I said, I'll send you guys the slides and whatnot, but it says for professional copywriters, generally there's 30 to 40% EMV words in their headlines. So that one just turned out good. like that. I didn't play with that one too much. I wrote it on a separate piece and dropped it in there just to see what would happen. And so it came out at 41.67, which is cool. It also tells you here, you can see it says intellectual and spiritual. Now this system calculates on 3 different variables. It's intellectual, spiritual, and empathetic. And whether it's right for you is going to be dependent on your market and who you're writing to and what you're writing about. But it is interesting to see how they layer them. I won't go through all the details of what they define as each one, but sometimes it'll just show intellectual or empathetic or spiritual, and sometimes you'll get a mixture of 2, and then occasionally you'll get one that says triple impact, that you hit all 3 of them equally. So now, the big question is, does that mean anything? And the simple answer is, I don't know. Because unfortunately, you just have to test it and see what the results are that you get. But like I said, it's a great tool to play with. And then as you start running your promotions, whether it's paid or organic, you'll start to see the type of things that your audience reacts to, and then maybe you can align that to what a tool like this is showing you, and then you can specifically start writing more and more like that. Another one that I like to play with is 𝗟𝗢𝗥𝗡 subject line tester. This is for email subject lines. Again, it's very similar to the last one, where you can enter a subject line and it gives you a score. This particular one we chose, today only 3 items for 1 price, and they said it's a 92%, and it's incredible. I've mastered the art of writing the perfect subject line, so I should just retire now as the top winning champion and run out the door. But I can't do that because somebody will come in and steal my crown anyway. But here are some of the things that they look at to get that score. They look at the length of your subject line. So they tell you your character length and the word count. And you can see here that it gives you a quick metric of what they're looking for. Less than 40 characters and less than 6 words, ideally. It talks about the wording itself. This one says helpful words that we use today only. And if you don't have a helpful word in there, this will give you a little list that you can click on and go through a list of what they consider helpful words, and you can try adding it to your subject line to see if that helps. There's no negative words in this particular subject line, which they like, although in general copywriting concepts, you can use negative writing, negative words, as a way to draw attention. It also talks about the scannability when they go through, oh, I see a number, and the capitalization seems normal. Again, it's similar to, is this something that a regular person would write versus somebody trying too hard? It's also cool because it shows you the preview of what it would look like on a desktop and a mobile phone. So you can see, because this is one of the keys, right? Why they want to keep under 40 characters and under 6 words, ideally, is because if it goes too far beyond those things, they'll tend to cut off in these screens. And we would prefer, and you probably would prefer too, that your subject lines are completely readable when somebody sees it, either on their phone or on their desktop. So they can see the subject line in its completion, the way that you meant it to be seen, and then they can make their choice from there, rather than it cutting off somewhere and they decide, I don't even know what this is talking about yet, so why am I clicking on it? And then just delete. And they even show you some subject lines you might want to steal. They give you some suggestions down at the bottom that you can copy and play with as well. So it's a nice little tool. And like we were saying before, so 2 of my favorite tools to use for the easy creation are Google Docs and Grammarly. I write basically everything in Google Docs and Grammarly, and then I will run it through some of these tools here to see what adjustments I need to make, if any, before I send it on either through email and send it out, or give it to the account manager so they can put it through with their promotions. You guys want some offer structures? Yeah? Cool. So there's 8 different offer structures here. And I pulled these directly from a training that I've got from a legendary copywriter and marketer, a guy named Frank Kern. He's a fun individual. And he has a little bit of a sordid history, But anyway, the first one is the direct offer. You give me X and I'll give you Y. Nice and simple. You know, I got a fish, you want to buy a fish, right? That's all, that's all there is to. I remember there was, you guys ever heard of that Grant Cardone guy? Yeah, he did an interview once and they were talking about the different sales methods and process, and he goes, dude, sometimes it's just as simple as saying, I got fish, do you want fish? That's it. Don't overcomplicate it. But if you want to add a little something, you can do a direct with a premium offer. You give me X, I'll give you Y and Z. Okay. I got a from the camera guy. The risk reversal offer. Hey, give me X, I'll give you Y and Z, and if you don't like it, I'll give you your money back. Okay. The risk reversal with the premium offer. Give me X, I'll give you Y and Z. You don't like it, I'll give you your money back. You can keep Z. Oh, all right. I like that. What? It gets even better. The risk reversal with the super premium. Give me X, I'll give you Y, Z. You don't like it, you keep everything, and I'll give you your money back as well. See, this goes back to what we were talking about a few minutes ago, right? The guarantees are there to make your customer and your clients feel comfortable and make you feel a little bit uncomfortable. You start doing stuff like this, you have to know that your products and services are on point and they will deliver what you are saying they'll deliver. That way you don't have to worry about giving money back. Now, will some people want their money back? Will some people scam the system? Some. It'll happen. You know, there's dirt balls in every, area of the world, but it's a pretty low percentage. This one's interesting, the delayed billing offer. The item cost X dollars, but don't send any money now. Instead, I want you to try this item out for X amount of days, and if you decide to keep it, don't do anything, I'll just bill you the money. And the key is you need to get that payment method up front, or else it's going to be a huge hassle trying to track it down. Even more than that, the delayed billing with the irresistible risk reversal offer. Again, item costs this much, don't send me any money, try it out for 14 days, 23 days, 75 days, 2 hours, whatever it is. If you decide to keep it, do nothing. I'll just bill you the money. But if you don't like it for any reason, or for no reason at all, I won't bill you, and you can even keep it. What Frank calls the mother of all offers. He used a book example for this one. This book is normally $99.99, but you don't pay for it today. Instead, I want you to try it out for how many days? 10? 10 days. If you don't like it, you let me know. You will never be billed, and you can keep the item free anyway. But since I'm giving you this book, and you're kind enough to review this for me, I'd like to show you my gratitude. I'm going to give you some more stuff. I'm going to give you 5 free bonus gifts that are yours to keep free regardless of whether or not you keep the book or whatever the item is. And then you recap it. So in short, you are paying no money today. I'm giving you the book or the thing that you want. I'm giving you 5 bonuses. And if you like it, don't worry about it. We'll just simply bill you after the trial date is over for the payment of $99.99. If you don't like the item, you let me know. I'll never charge you anything at all, but you can keep the book and the gifts completely free with my compliments just for you trying to help me out and do a review.
Just pay shipping.
Maybe. Free plus shipping ain't a bad thing. No. One last thing. Keep it simple, folks. Copywriting equals communication. So, write like you or your ideal people would speak. Use the language that they would use when they're sitting at home with their family or sitting on the bar stool with their friends. That's what I got for you. If you scan this, we would love it. Thank you. Thank you. I'll tell you about the scanning in a second. If you guys would do me a great favor, you can scan this. It'll take you to a quick survey just so you can let us know what you thought about the workshop and the presentations and the AGM workshops in general. And at this point, What questions do you have for me?
Do we need mic, Jesus?
I got you.
Jake's got a mic right here.
So you raise your hand?
Oh, yeah, sure. let me look at my notes quickly here.
Take your time.
All right.
Look at that, I did it on time, man. Woo!
Give him another round of applause for being on time.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
For that last one, the mother of all offers.
Mm-hmm.
One, does it work for service-based business as well? And do you mind giving us an example of how would that work for service-based businesses?
Does it work for them well? I can't officially answer that. Can you do it for a service-based business? I would say yes. It's going to depend a little bit on the particular businesses, what they're offering, and what type of risk tolerance they have. But do you have an example, and do you have a business in mind, or you just want to come up with one?
I'll come up with one. Let's say it's a pressure washing business.
Okay, so the pressure washing business, you could say something like, listen, we have a whole house pressure washing. It's $99 for one thing. But listen, we don't want you to pay that today, okay? Because we want to show you how good we are. We want to give you this value, right? So don't pay anything today. I'm going to come out and I'm going to pressure wash your whole house, okay? And I guarantee it will look great for 30 days, right? Something like that. And after that 30 days, you just let me know. That's what I'm not going to bill you for 30 days, okay? As long as the house looks great in 30 days, I'll just go ahead and bill you that $99 that we talked about up front because you already gave me your credit card number or you gave me a check or whatever, however you want to put that together. And that's the start of it. Now, because you're letting me do this for you, since we're talking about the mother of all offers, right? Because you're letting me do this for you, I'm actually going to give you some extra stuff, okay? I'm going to give you, I don't know, well, some free car washing gadgets that we have, right? So I get to come up with something, right? Or we're going to give, not only are we going to pressure wash the house, but we're going to clean the windows for you as well. Okay, so we're going to clean the windows, we're going to give you some car washing gadgets, we're going to walk your dog, and we're going to pick up the poop from the backyard. Right? I got a couple of takers already. Great. Right? And after that 30 days, if everything is cool, great, I'll bill you, no problem. And then hopefully, you'll let me come back and do this again, and we'll be a customer and service provider for life. But listen, if in 30 days, I'll get to you in 1 second. If in 30 days something's wrong, the house fell apart, if I blew the windows out with my pressure washing because I wasn't careful, then listen, I won't charge you anything. You can keep the dog. You can definitely keep the dog. I already walked the dog for you. I already cleaned up the poop. You can keep the free window washing stuff, and you can keep all the gadgets for cleaning the car. So that's how you might do it. Yeah. I got a gentleman in the back with a question. Ollie's running the mic.
There we go, because then there's a streaming. No, there's a...
We got people online that can't hear you.
Anyways, obviously, you people go to bed way earlier than I do. At 3 or 4 in the morning. And if you watch television, that last thing, that offer to end all offers, is basically what they specialize in. In fact, there's a company right here in this area, Pinellas, that's having some huge, Christmas holiday special sale on redoing your shower and your bathroom and stuff like that. But guess what? They're also going to do something extra they come up with afterwards. We're going to give you a brand new faucet for your kitchen sink. We're going to give you this polish so that you can keep your bathroom looking as if it was new. Anyways, it's that there's so many people that use this on these late night television marketing things. So that's why when you first came out, it's the first thing I thought of.
Yeah.
But believe me, it definitely can be used as a service business. And a lot of it is, because it's simpler, because what you're doing is you're giving them the service, but the extra stuff, okay, are solid things, okay? They're things you just transfer. So you're not spending any more money from the company on the labor involved with the service. So it's stuff that you can just buy, throw in a warehouse, and then every time you have one of these people, you just throw that in.
Yep.
So, anyway.
And there's a cool thing you can think about if you're putting together some type of offer like that is how can you construct your offer in a way that people want those bonus items so much that they're willing to buy the other thing, even if they don't want the original item. So we're good here, we're good here. Another question over here.
Two more here. First one.
I know I want to respect everybody's time, but I want to answer your questions too, so
Great job on the presentation.
thank you, sir.
My question is about when you're creating a ClickFunnels. I see some of them that are very, very, very long, and those are the ones that I usually apply to. But then other people tell me, man, I hate those long ClickFunnels. Is there a go-to? And like, you know, I know you should have a video, testimonials, you know, some social proof and stuff like that. So it's two-part questions.
Sure.
What are the essentials for a ClickFunnels, and how long do you like them to be?
The essentials are a headline. The essentials are a headline and an opt-in box. It could be that simple. I would, on top of that, I generally like to have either some sort of an image or a short video between the headline and the opt-in box. And if that doesn't do the job, then I will start to think about, okay, well, what's the next steps that I need to add into there? And I actually have an entire list, an entire sheet of sales page or landing page elements. And I didn't put that together here, but if that's something you're interested in, let me know and I can get you a copy of that.
I appreciate that. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Next workshop. No.
Yeah. Yeah.
No? Ooh. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, excellent presentation. Now, is it? Hello?
Yep, there we go. Hey, baby, I'll be back to pick you up later on, right?
Sorry, I'm so used to it having like feedback. Yeah, so what I was wondering is, he was actually talking about the ClickFunnels. It's funny you brought that up, but the ClickFunnels, is there a certain approach or a certain program or something? Because I bought ClickFunnels and I paid like $500 just to buy the whole program to build my own.
Okay.
But it is exhausting to complete and figure out, and you know.
It can be.
Wondering, is there a company or something that would recommend to like make one for you, or?
Let me think. Attention-grabbing media has.
No, I didn't know.
No, yeah, that's fine. No, we right here we can build all sorts of landing pages, sales pages. Thank you. But we can build complete funnels. We can build full websites. Yeah. So we can do all that for you if you need.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that's awesome. Yeah, no, because I have a what marketing strategy would you put together to find a way for all of your leads to land on your page? Because I get hundreds and hundreds of leads a week of names, numbers, email address, people wanting to buy now.
Right.
But I don't have time to call them all.
Okay.
So I'm wondering how I can get that landing of people ready to buy now and talk with me instead of me talking myself, but just getting them on the product. Like, what approach do you take? Like, that's why I thought of a ClickFunnels, but I don't need a funnel in leads. I need a funnel in the leads that I have in funnel.
Yeah. So if I recall correctly, I think you and I spoke at a few months ago at a different workshop, and you were showing me some of the leads that were coming through from your TikTok.
Yeah, I have 7 million now. 7 million views on my thing, on my hashtag. And last
Nice.
time I talked with you, I was at 700,000.
Okay. So definitely tremendous amount of traffic and attention. You just need to be able to funnel it somewhere,
Yeah.
right?
exactly.
So there are a few tools that can create automations that will take that, because we looked at it, you are getting leads to opt into something through there. So there's softwares that can take that and automate it, and they will ship it into what I suggest 2 things. One is into an email service provider, which is actually a great lead-in because I think in the second workshop of January, I'm going to be talking about the foundations of email marketing. So you may want to be here for that one. So you want to get that information into an email service provider so that you can send out a message directly to them. And then you're going to need some sort of a landing page, most likely from your ClickFunnels, that you can take and direct everybody that hits into that email. You'll send them an email saying, hey, I saw that you liked my TikTok or whatever it is, you opted in on my thing, you're interested in the product, because like you said, they're ready to buy now. And that's a great place to be. Hey, you're ready to buy now? Click this, and it'll take you to the checkout page.
Okay, yeah, because since we talked, I created all of that.
Okay.
I created a website, I created a funnel for people to go directly to an email, and then I have an email awareness, so every time they don't click their email, they get 3 other emails with different
Good.
approach as to why they need to open that last email.
Good.
And so I'm having like a 98% success of people opening their email.
That's beautiful.
So I mean, but you know, there's just a lot of
Yeah.
categories.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yep. That was going to be the question. Okay.
I mean, I'm still selling about 10%, but I'm not selling 100%. But when I call them, I'm selling them almost 100%. So they want it, but they're just, I think they just want the voice between I don't know.
That could be.
Huh?
That's possible. He's suggesting there's another software that we use a lot called ManyChat, which helps to kind of automate a conversation between you and the prospect or the consumer.
Okay.
And that might be something to look into as well.
Okay. Yeah, because I have, what is it called? Meta? I'm using, what is that called? It's through Facebook and through Meta what?
MetaSuite.
Is that what it is?
MetaSuite, he said, like the business manager.
Yeah, I believe so, because every time they say a message, either
Yeah.
through email or through text or through my website or anything like that, it
Yeah.
goes directly to my phone.
I tell you the best thing to do.
An instant message.
Yeah, that's a good thing. So here's the best thing I would suggest for you to do. You can either grab one of us tonight and set up a time, but probably hop on a phone call with one of the team members, and they can take a look at what you've got going on and give you the next best suggestion of what to do. And that might be, hey man, you should do this, this, and this, and they hand you the keys to the car back, and then you go do it. Or the next best thing might be, you might decide, I just need you guys to do this for me.
Yeah.
But I would definitely jump on a call with one of the guys. You don't have to do anything. Just let us take a look at what you're doing. Tell us what your desired results are, and then we can tell you how to get them. And then if it's you doing it yourself or you having us do it, we'll figure that out as we go.
Can I do the same by ClickFunnels?
Yeah. Yeah. We can get so we've got like Ollie back here in the white shirt and gentleman Brian standing to his left. These are some of the guys that would be taking your phone calls initially. And, you could walk through those steps with them. Actually, we got Ernesto in the back over there too. He might be one of them. And by the way, if you guys don't know Ollie and Ernesto, they're two of the co-founders or co-owners of the AGM. So they kind of care about what goes on around here. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see, talktoaninja.com is still a functional website. I believe you can go there. You can book a call. Again, we're not going to sell you anything if we don't think, that you can use it, right? We want you to get results,
Can you
okay?
just come here and like talk to somebody? Or?
Potentially. We'll have to talk to the guys and see if they can set that up, yeah. But definitely get on the call, find out what they need, and then we'll give you the best next steps, and then we'll go from there. It is probably 7:20-ish, so again, I want to respect everybody's time for folks in the office and those online. If you got to go online, have a great night. Happy New Year. I'm glad you were here with us, so thank you guys. Same to all of you here. Thank you very much for showing up and being here with us tonight. We got to get the selfie. So everybody kind of gather up towards the front as best as can, and we're going to get a cool picture. And then if you guys need to ask any other questions, I'll hang out for a few more minutes, sign autographs or whatever you need.
Ready? Ready, everyone? 1, 2, 3.
Yay! Good to see you, sir.
Late, I